Good evening.
Hi, friends.
We interrupt tonight's program.
Do you hear them outside?
Do not answer your door.
Hey guys, VAM here. We just wanted to thank you all so much for tuning into the channel tonight. Your support truly means everything to us as we continue building these late-night horror stories together. If you're interested in story inquiries, submissions, or collaborations, feel free to contact us. You can find our contact information in the description below. And before tonight's tape begins, just a quick reminder. All original stories are written and owned by VHS After Midnight. Unauthorized reposts, adaptations, or narrations are strictly prohibited. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. It really helps support the channel. Tonight's story is called The Tenant Who Dug Beneath Our Homes, written by Dead Air. So turn the lights off, get comfortable, and enjoy the tape. Lindsay Carter never planned on becoming a landlord. Real estate wasn't some lifelong dream. It was survival, extra income, something steady after years of grief, and bills stacking on top of each other. After her father died, Lindsay inherited his old property on Briar Lane, a quiet suburban neighborhood about 25 minutes outside the city. The house itself wasn't huge, but the land was valuable. 2 floors, an old basement, and a small backyard with a cracked fountain and neglected flower beds. Lindsay dumped nearly all her savings into renovating the place, hoping renting it out would finally help her breathe financially again. The applications came flooding in, but most were terrible. Evictions, bad credit, no stable income, horrible renter history. Lindsay sat at her kitchen table late one night, flipping through paperwork when she suddenly stopped at one application near the bottom of the stack. Tyler Vale, 27 years old. No criminal history, no prior evictions. And according to his paperwork, the man made nearly 10 times the monthly rent. Lindsay frowned immediately. Nobody making that kind of money rented old suburban houses like this. Then she looked at the attached photo. Pale skin, messy black curls, sunken eyes, thin lips. Something about him made her stomach tighten. As she stared at the application, a tiny spider suddenly crawled across the edge of her binder. Lindsay panicked instantly. Jesus Christ! Slam! She crushed the spider beneath the binder and immediately pulled her hands away, breathing heavily. Even after all these years, spiders still got to her. Her father made sure of that. Dr. Elliot Carter was one of the most respected arachnologists in Tennessee. Lindsay spent most of her childhood surrounded by glass tanks filled with spiders from all over the world. Trapdoor spiders, funnel webs, huntsman's wolf spiders. Her father loved them obsessively. He used to tell her, spiders don't waste energy. If they gather somewhere, food is nearby. As a little girl, Lindsay helped him feed them, until the accident. One venomous bite changed everything. She still remembered finding her father convulsing beside a shattered enclosure while spiders scattered through the house. After that, spiders stopped being fascinating. Now they were nightmares. And more than anything, Lindsay hated when a spider disappeared. Seeing one on the wall was bad enough, but seeing one, then looking away for 1 second only for it to vanish, that was worse, because now it could be anywhere. As a child, her father used to laugh whenever she panicked after losing sight of one. Relax, he'd tell her. It's more afraid of you than you are of it. Lindsay never believed him, especially after his death, because after that, every vanished spider felt like something waiting to crawl back out when she wasn't looking, which was exactly why Lindsay made absolutely sure the Briar Lane house had been exterminated before renting it out. Still, something about Tyler bothered her, but money talked louder than instincts. 2 days later, she met him for the tour. Tyler was somehow even stranger in person. Tall, too tall. His lanky body hunched awkwardly beneath oversized clothes like standing upright took effort. His pale skin almost looked grey beneath daylight, but his eyes disturbed her most. Huge, unblinking, attentive, not focused on her. Focused on the house, the walls, the ceiling, the floor. Like he was listening for something moving beneath them. "You renovated recently," Tyler said softly. "Mostly plumbing and electrical," Lindsay replied nervously. Tyler slowly touched the hallway wall with his fingertips, then pressed his ear against it. Lindsay frowned. "You okay?" Tyler immediately straightened up. "Sorry, pipes." The tour continued awkwardly. Outside, Lindsay showed him the backyard fountain and garden beds. Tyler barely looked at the actual house. Instead, he crouched near the flower bed and slowly ran dirt through his fingers. For a second, Lindsay could have sworn she saw dirt around his lips after he stood back up. Her stomach tightened immediately. "You want to see the basement?" she asked quickly. Tyler's eyes suddenly lifted toward her, and for the first time during the entire tour, he smiled. The basement smelled faintly of detergent and fresh paint. Lindsay proudly pointed toward the expensive new washer and dryer she installed. Tyler ignored them completely. Instead, he crouched low and pressed his ear against the concrete floor. His eyes closed. A strange, pleased hum escaped his throat. Lindsay suddenly felt cold. After the tour, she awkwardly explained she still had other applicants to meet before making a decision. Tyler interrupted her immediately. "I can pay now." "What?" "I'll pay 6 months up front." Lindsay blinked. "That's really not necessary." "I can pay more." His voice carried no emotion, only urgency. That should have scared her away. Instead, she thought about her mortgage, her debt, and her bills. An hour later, they were signing papers in the kitchen. When Tyler shook her hand, Lindsay nearly jerked away. His skin felt damp, sticky, and his fingers were unnaturally long and thin. The sensation reminded her of a spider crawling across her skin. As Tyler unloaded boxes later that evening, Lindsay noticed Ms. Wiggins sitting across the street watching from her porch. Ms. Wiggins had known Lindsay's father for decades. Loud, nosy, outspoken. The type of old woman who treated neighborhood gossip like a full-time profession. Lindsay walked over to chat with her while Tyler carried belongings inside. "That boy looks strange," Ms. Wiggins muttered immediately. "You noticed too?" "Honey, if you want to talk strange, you should have met my ex-husband Wes." Lindsay laughed softly. Behind them, Tyler suddenly stopped moving. Slowly, he turned toward them and waved. But something about it felt horribly wrong. His fingers bent strangely. His eyes stayed too wide open. His smile looked forced, painful, like he practiced it in a mirror. Ms. Wiggins narrowed her eyes. "I'm going to keep an eye on that boy." Months passed. At first, everything went perfectly. Rent always arrived early. Tyler never complained. He even repaired appliances himself. Then the complaints started. Strange smells, scratching noises, movement inside walls, and spiders. Always spiders. One afternoon, Lindsay drove over after Ms. Wiggins called complaining about crawling sounds in the damn walls. The moment Lindsay stepped out of her car, she smelled it. Rot, wet mold, garbage, something organic. Nearby, Tyler stood motionless while arguing neighbors screamed at him from their lawn. "I don't know what the hell you're doing over there," Rob yelled, "but you need to knock it off with the sounds." His wife grabbed his arm, trying to calm him down. "And what the hell is that smell?" Tyler stood completely still, like he genuinely didn't care. Then he noticed Lindsay. His expression immediately changed into that same stretched smile. "Well, hello, Lindsay." Lindsay explained she came because of complaints about sounds and smells. Rob pointed furiously toward Tyler. "This guy your business?" Before Lindsay could answer, Rob's wife suddenly screamed. A spider crawled across Rob's face. He panicked violently, trying to swat it away while Tyler quietly laughed under his breath. The spider finally fell, and Rob crushed it beneath his boot. Tyler's smile instantly disappeared. His face darkened. Rob pointed at him angrily. "Look, I know your father was a fanatic about spiders, but he kept it in the damn house. Ever since this guy moved in, I've been killing spiders more than I drink beer, and trust me, I drink a lot." Tyler stared at Rob with pure malice, then quietly muttered, "That's fine. I'm almost done with your door." Rob stepped forward angrily. "You got something to say?" Lindsay quickly diffused the situation and pulled Tyler inside. The apartment barely looked lived in. No couch, no TV, no decorations. Just a sleeping bag, empty soup cans, and spider webs in every corner. But the webs disturbed Lindsay most. The spiders inside them weren't sitting randomly. Every single one was facing her, watching her, waiting. Lindsay forced herself to stay calm. "What's causing the smell?" Tyler shrugged slightly. "I work on oil rigs. I shower maybe once a month." "And the sounds?" "I sleepwalk." As Lindsay spoke, she suddenly paused, crawling inside the walls, but she couldn't see anything moving. Her skin tightened immediately. Tyler calmly interrupted her. "I also fixed some appliances around the house, paid out of pocket." He handed her receipts. Lindsay offered to reduce the rent since he spent his own money. Tyler shook his head. "No need." Then quietly added, "I can pay triple if necessary." Necessary. That word hit Lindsay hard. Like bribery, like he desperately needed her to stay away. "I just need the complaints to stop," Lindsay said carefully. Tyler smiled again. "I'll take care of it." Something about the way he said it made Lindsay deeply uncomfortable. Like his version of taking care of things was very different from hers. Weeks later, police knocked on Lindsay's apartment door. Rob and his wife were missing. Not only them. Several neighbors vanished too. No break-ins, no stolen vehicles, no signs of struggle. It was like people simply disappeared inside their homes, and every missing house was covered in webs. Lindsay immediately drove to Ms. Wiggins' home. Spiders covered the lawn, the porch ceiling, and the windows. She nearly emptied half a can of bug spray just reaching the front door. Ms. Wiggins finally answered, holding a fly swatter. "Oh, Lindsay, you almost got swatted." Then her expression changed immediately. "Why haven't you been answering my calls?" "I never got any." Ms. Wiggins frowned. "That's impossible." Lindsay walked toward the kitchen wall phone. The cord hung limp, not cut, chewed through. Tiny bite marks lined the wiring. Lindsay felt genuine fear crawl up her spine. Another spider crawled across the counter, and Ms. Wiggins smashed it instantly. "That Tyler boy did this," Ms. Wiggins muttered. Lindsay stared. Ms. Wiggins lowered her voice. "I seen him whispering to spiders." Silence. "One night, I swear to God, I saw him crawling on the side of Rob's house before they disappeared." Lindsay didn't know what scared her more, the statement or the fact she almost believed it. As they talked, Lindsay noticed a spider sitting silently in the upper corner of the room, watching them, like surveillance. That night, Lindsay sat parked across the street watching Tyler's house while rain lightly tapped against her windshield. Finally, around midnight, Tyler emerged from the front door. His movements looked wrong even from a distance. Too stiff, too long, too quiet. He climbed into his car and slowly drove away into darkness. Lindsay immediately grabbed her phone and keys. But the closer she got to Tyler's house, the worse the feeling became. Spiders covered the porch now, dozens of them, watching, waiting. Lindsay stopped halfway up the walkway, breathing heavily. "Nope," she whispered shakily. She turned immediately and hurried across the street toward Ms. Wiggins' house. She knocked rapidly. No answer. "Ms. Wiggins?" Nothing. Lindsay knocked harder, still nothing. Fear immediately flooded her chest. She slowly tried the doorknob. Unlocked. The door creaked open. "Ms. Wiggins?" Silence. The television still played softly inside. A cup of tea sat half-finished beside the recliner, and spiders were everywhere, on the walls, on the lampshades, crawling across the ceiling. Then Lindsay noticed something horrifying near the living room rug. Thin, fresh cuts in the floorboards, like something had been sawed open from beneath. A spider crawled through one of the cuts and disappeared below the floor. Lindsay backed away immediately and pulled out her phone to call police. No signal. Her breathing shook. Ms. Wiggins was gone. And deep down, Lindsay already knew where she was. She slowly looked toward Tyler's house across the street, then walked back to her car, opened the glove compartment, and grabbed her handgun. "Okay," she whispered shakily, then looked toward Tyler's house. "Let's get this over with." She entered alone. The house looked alive now. Spiders covered every surface, walls, ceilings, counters. The basement door itself looked like it was moving beneath the swarm. Downstairs, the basement had become a nightmare. Webs stretched wall to wall. Spiders of every size crawled across every inch of the room. Lindsay could have sworn she spotted a huntsman's spider bigger than her hand. Then she noticed the holes. Small holes, large holes, and one massive tunnel large enough for a human to walk through. Heart-pounding, Lindsay entered. The deeper she traveled underground, the colder the air became. Then her flashlight landed on shapes hanging along the tunnel walls. Human-sized cocoons. Her blood turned to ice. The tunnel spread beneath the neighborhood like veins. Then she found Rob, or what remained of him. His stomach was torn open. Thousands of spider eggs pulsed inside the cavity. Lindsay nearly screamed when something suddenly moved nearby. A cocoon twitched weakly. She ripped through layers of webbing frantically. Ms. Wiggins gasped for air. "Took you long enough." Tears filled Lindsay's eyes. Ms. Wiggins explained how she noticed cuts beneath her living room rug, like someone sawing through the floor. Then Tyler emerged through a hidden trapdoor. But it weren't Tyler anymore. Suddenly, Ms. Wiggins froze completely. Lindsay slowly turned around. Tyler stood silently in the darkness behind them. "I was a good tenant." His voice sounded genuinely betrayed. Then his body began changing. Bones cracked violently. His jaw stretched wider. Extra eyes split open across his forehead. His skin peeled apart like wet paper. He wasn't becoming a spider. He was shedding a human disguise. Lindsay sprayed bug killer directly into his face. Tyler screeched horribly, then started laughing. "You think that kills me?" Lindsay pulled her gun. "No, but this will," she shouted as she fired repeatedly. Bullets tore into him, but Tyler moved impossibly fast, scrambling across walls and ceilings while screeching through the tunnels. Then, suddenly, silence. Lindsay froze. Her breathing shook violently because she couldn't see him anymore, and she hated when spiders disappeared. "Lindsay," Miss Wiggins whispered fearfully. Something moved above them. Tyler dropped from the ceiling, shrieking. The underground chambers shook violently. Ms. Wiggins suddenly shouted, "This whole damn place is hollow!" Tyler lunged. Lindsay fired wildly, rupturing old pipes along the tunnel walls. The entire underground system began collapsing. Tyler screeched from somewhere deeper underground as dirt and webs crashed around them. Lindsay dragged Ms. Wiggins upward while tunnels collapsed behind them. They barely escaped before the basement caved inward completely. Hours later, emergency crews uncovered what looked like Tyler's corpse beneath the rubble. Ms. Wiggins spit on it, killed that ugly bastard, but an officer carefully flipped the body over. Lindsay's blood ran cold. The back of Tyler's body had split wide open. The inside was hollow, empty, like something crawled out. Lindsay stared silently before whispering, "No." Her voice shook. Spiders don't die when they molt. And somewhere beneath the rubble, something scratched back.